Pleased to be joined by Mason Stark, Northern State Wolves basketball. And for those who don't know, Mason, tell everyone where you're at right now.
So I'm currently in Arizona right now. That's where I'm from, Chandler. So I've been here for about a month or so, just doing all I can, hanging out with the family, working out at the park, stuff like that.
Have you been keeping in contact with your teammates? I'm assuming you're using like Zoom and FaceTime and all that stuff to keep up with everyone.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't used Zoom too much, but I did a little Zoom with a couple of my teammates recently for like a coffee hour thing, which is a new media thing that we do for Northern. So that was cool, just catching up. But obviously, I talk to them through social media and stuff like that and message them in Snapchat. So
how is everyone doing, all things considered?
I mean, everyone's just doing their own thing, I think, right now, just trying to focus on, getting better over the summer and doing all they can. Obviously, it's hard because of what's going on, but we're just trying to stay safe and do all we can, work out at the park, stuff like that. So
what I wanted to do here, I just thought this might be cool. Like, you know how on DVDs, sometimes you can choose that thing where you get like the actor's commentary or the director's commentary and stuff like that. So what I wanted to do with you is I wanted to get basically your director's commentary. And we're going to go back to I Hate Winter weekend, February 1st against Minnesota State. And the second half specifically, and amazingly enough, this all happened without commercial interruption, but you hit 7 straight three-pointers against Minnesota State, and with the crowd and everyone behind you. But before we go into the part specifically, what do you remember about that game?
Honestly, I just remember it being just so surreal. Yeah, obviously, it just felt like a normal game at the beginning, and the I Hate Winter stuff kind of changed it a little bit just because of the adrenaline and stuff like that. But after I hit that third three, I was just kind of feeling – I had chills, and the crowd was behind me, so it was just an amazing experience, and it's something that I'll never forget. It's going to stick with me for my whole life, so it was amazing.
What we're going to do right now is, obviously, I was up there calling the game for Midco, and we are going to show the part. I think there's a little more than 9 minutes left in the second half. You guys have a 20-point lead on Minnesota State. We're coming back from what we call the under 10 media timeout. So there was a commercial break at the first whistle, under 10 minutes, and then we pick it up from there. So let's take a look at that. All right, so we're coming back from commercial here, and you get a look at the fans. Everyone's chilling in the hot tubs and stuff like that. What's that atmosphere like for you guys?
Oh, it's the best weekend ever. We look forward to it all year. It's amazing to have all these fans come out, and especially the students. It's a surreal experience. So
you got some football players down by the hot tub there. I'm sure that made it a little extra rowdy.
Yeah, for sure. They like to get the other team riled up, and they be talking to them in the game, so it's funny. But
so right now you guys have a 20-point lead on Minnesota State. And what are you feeling at this point right now? Like, do you feel like, not that you have the game in hand, but you feel like you're playing well?
Yeah, I mean, we're up by 20. I feel confident in where we're at right now. But nothing really feels different as of to this point right now. It just feels like kind of another game and just trying to secure that win.
Yep, so they cut us to 18 right there, and so we're about to get close. Now, they start trapping here, and you're in the backcourt at first, but then you kind of break free. This is going to be your first one.
Yep.
And so you get it here, and you just catch and fire, and you make this first one. So after the first one, how did you feel?
After the first one, it just felt like a normal game. Just, they're trapping, so it kind of left me open, and I was just trying to find that open space, but nothing really felt different to that point.
Sure.
Just seemed like.
And what's funny is you had some great shooting percentages throughout the year. And what I noticed here is you're going to lob it to Parker here. He's going to get fouled. But what I noticed, you don't take a bad shot. Like, I know that sounds really simple to say, but you don't feel comfortable unless you think you can absolutely make it, right?
Yep, that's true. I mean, I always want to make sure that I take the best shot. I never like forcing shots at all. I think, that says to my percentage. I never want to take bad shots.
And so Parker here, and Parker obviously had another great season, and his one Achilles is going to be free throws because he misses these right here. I'm sure you need to give him advice on free throw shooting, don't you?
No, honestly, for him, I just think it's confidence. Really, it comes down to confidence. Just like anything, it's because he's a really good free throw shooter in practice, and I think it just comes down to he just needs to be confident because he can shoot free throws. It's all a confidence thing.
Yeah, and in this game in particular, earlier in the game, he tried shooting a couple from the outside. Was that kind of by design to make sure he kind of keeps defenses honest?
Yeah, it was by design. Saul told him, Coach Phillips told him, go ahead and, shoot that open three because then obviously the bigs are going to have to come out, and then he can drive and do what he does best. So.
And here you're wide open in the corner. I have no idea why, but again, you just catch fire.
Yeah. And so after that one, I mean, I felt a little different, but even then, it kind of just felt normal.
And so they take a quick 3 here, and so this is very quick. Like you're feeling in rhythm at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
And so here comes number 3, and again, no hesitation. So 3 in a row. I considered that the heat check, at least at the very beginning.
I mean, that is how it felt, because after that one is a little deeper, and I mean, I wasn't wide open on that shot, so I just felt, I could feel the chills running through my body, and then the crowd was starting to get into it, and that's when I kind of felt different at that point.
And so here, Coleman gets the rebound. You're kind of trailing. Did you know you were going to shoot this?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, I could hear the crowd, too, before I even caught the ball, so that helped, too. But I knew I had to shoot that one.
And so that's number 4 in a row, and now Minnesota State's going to take a timeout here. And we don't go to commercial because this is just some nuts and bolts from TV production sense. We had already used our commercial breaks from that point, so we didn't need to go to commercial. So we stayed with the broadcast. Saul Phillips was out there. I don't know if he chest bumped you or something, or what did he do?
No, I think he just gave me a firm high five, and it was crazy. I mean, you could see too before that Cole was getting hyped with the crowd and stuff, and it was just crazy experience.
And so while the timeout happens, we're reviewing your first 4 3-pointers. You actually hit one at the 16-minute mark, so technically we're showing 4 in a row, but you would hit 5.5. But on the bench during that timeout, what is Saul saying to you guys?
He really honestly just said, get Mason the ball and try to get him some shots. That's really that's about it. And just because it was so crazy, 4 in a row in that short of a span, he just try to get him open, basically.
Yeah, and so with the last 3-pointer that you hit before the timeout, you established a new career high. So at this point, you had 28 points. Your previous career high was 26, which was also against Minnesota State the previous season. Is it just the way they were guarding you, or is it just blind luck that you had your career highs against them?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just blind luck. I don't think there's anything different. But as you can see, watching this, they kind of did leave me open a lot just because they were trapping. And I think their coach obviously wanted to, trap and try to get a lead, or try to, get some momentum. But it was just kind of leaving me open. And shout out to Andrew and Tommy. They were finding me open a lot of the times, driving and kicking. So really, I wasn't doing much. I was just standing on the wing and shooting. So.
Yeah, you just hit your 5th, and that was right after the timeout. Were you surprised? I mean, because Parker set a screen, and his guy, that he didn't switch on you.
Yeah, he didn't switch at all. And, I was surprised. I was pretty open in that, too. So.
And then at this point, the crowd is chanting your name. I'm sure, I could feel it here. Did you feel them they want you to shoot?
Oh, 100%. And I was trying. You can see I was trying to do some step backs, but obviously, like you said, I don't want to force anything. I don't want to shoot it just to shoot it,
Right.
So that's why I didn't take those shots.
Yep, and then Parker just drove by his guy and just dunked it right there. And what's funny, obviously, Parker's a very emotional guy. You know that as well as anyone. What I found funny is, you're very cool, calm, and collected. It looked like your teammates were more excited than you were after you hit those shots.
Yeah, and for me, it's honestly just that's who I am. That's who I've always been. I've never been that person to, go crazy over anything. I've kind of just always been that, level-headed person where I don't really get crazy over certain things. And that's just who I am. If I try to do that, if I try to be like Fox or try to, be emotional, it would probably come off as weird because that's just not who I am, I guess.
For sure. And so there's going to be a stretch here where they try and get you the ball, and you can't quite get a look. And so they were playing you. I joked that they should have just started double teaming you at half court, but it seems like obviously the game's in hand now, and basically they're looking for you to shoot. Parker tries his hand here, and he left that one short. But again, as you mentioned, he's trying to kind of expand his game a little bit. It's funny, even though there's time going by, the crowd still wants you to shoot.
Yep. No, I know. It's crazy.
And
our
so
best fans in D2, so.
and so going back to a point I mentioned earlier, your teammates are excited for you. Here, you're about to hit number 6 right here. You finally got open. And so after number 6, there's going to be one more. But what did this feel like? Because now you have to understand how many you've hit in a row, don't you?
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, after like that fifth and sixth three, I just, like I said, I kind of got chills through my body, and I kind of just felt like it was going to go in no matter what. And honestly, for me, I always say I feel like it was a God thing, just because I didn't really feel like present in the game. I just felt it felt so surreal that kind of just felt like God was taking over, and I don't know, it was just amazing.
Yeah, you're so cool, calm, and collected after each of them. But now we're gonna get to the big one here. You see how big the crowd is and how excited they are, and then even I'm going nuts because this is the seventh one, and I just lose it after this.
Lucky number 7.
Yeah, that one was a little more contested, so it made it all the better. But yeah.
And then look, Andrew Coleman's pushing you, and Gabe King's gonna come up like just everyone's so amped for you. What's that feeling like in that moment?
Oh, the feeling, it's indescribable. Honestly, you can't really describe it because obviously this has never happened to me. This is the craziest thing I've ever done, and you can't really describe the experience. It's just you get chills, and it just feels not. It doesn't feel real at all. My family actually made it out to that game as well, so it was just great that my family was able to see that.
That's very, very cool. I didn't realize your family was there. So of all the games, they picked a pretty good one to go to.
They did, yeah, for sure.
And so we finally took a commercial timeout, but that clip is about 9 minutes long, and you hit 7 threes in that span. That's 9 minutes in real time. In game time, it was about 5 minutes. And you come back from the timeout, you shoot one more, you miss it, and then Saul takes you out. What was that ovation like when he finally took you out of the game and the game was in hand?
Oh, it's crazy. All my teammates were being so supportive and just going up to me and giving me high fives and giving me hugs. And the crowd was on their feet, cheering me on. So that meant a lot.
It was a special season for you guys, and I know you didn't really get a chance to finish it. No one really got a chance to finish it, but you won another conference regular season title. You won the tournament title again. I know, again, there might have been unfinished business, but how will you remember this past season?
I think for me, obviously we get along with our teammates super well, and that's why we've been good over all these years. But I think this year we kind of proved a lot of people wrong, just based on preseason rankings and stuff like that, and people talking. I don't think people expected us to be this good, and so for us, we kind of had a chip on our shoulder this year, and we went out there and tried to prove ourselves, and I think we did a really good job of that. The seniors, they meant a lot to our program. Ethan Cranhold, Gabe King, and Cole Dahl, they did so much for this program, and they got so many wins, and they meant a lot to this program. So it's going to suck, to see them leave, but they did so much. So
appreciate you taking a trip down memory lane with me. It was a fantastic night. I won't forget it. I'm pretty sure I know you won't forget it, but I appreciate your time here. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we can't wait to see you shooting threes again.
Sounds good. Thank you for your time. Yeah, you stay safe as well.